6:30, it's game on. The NAB Cup Live, with no ad breaks, siren to siren, in high definition. Opening night coming up next, only on Fox Footy. The 2012 NAB Cup is proudly brought to you by mobile betting from sportsbet.com.au, the greatest invention since betting. Harvey Norman. Shop in-store or online at harveynorman.com.au. The pioneering beering of Hahn. NAB. More give, less take. Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning. Hungry Jacks makes footy better. And the award-winning Jeep Grand Cherokee. Don't hold back.
Do you remember the moment you fell in love with Australian rules football? Do you remember that first game you watched on television? Our game has evolved over the years, and we have all been witness to it. Television has been there for almost 60 years. It has given us images that will stay with us forever. Memories that will stand the test of time. It has connected the millions of fans to its biggest names. And there's been none bigger in the game than Ronald Dale Barassi.
The footy field, where our great game, Australian rules football, has been played for more than 150 years. It's changed a fair bit over the years. New teams, new stadiums, new rules. But it's still the greatest game in the world. Our game is defined by moments. Moments that we'll never forget. Moments that make a legend. Moments that inspire us. Moments that have made grown men cry. And moments that mean more and more as every season passes.
Here it is!
Every year, this game produces moments like these, and it will continue to do so for many, many more. But it's not just moments on the field that we remember. Moments that shape the game happen off the field and can be just as significant.
For sheer impact on the public psyche, football Australian style sits on a plane of its own. I've covered this game for more than 40 years, and I've chased a lot of stories in that time. Caught a couple too. When Ron Barassi left Melbourne after the '64 premiership win to go to Charlton, the game went into a state of shock. In fact, the state of Victoria went into a state of shock. At the time, it was like the Pope declaring he had defected to the Church of England.
It was unacceptable to me that I could work with men who wouldn't back me.
The sacked coach has long provided football with its most dramatic headlines.
How you coping, mate? Okay.
The Wayne Carey scandal rocked the football world in 2002 and prompted an unprecedented level of media coverage.
I believe this is the only proper and responsible course of action. Thank you.
With television, radio, newspapers, internet and social media, it's hard to believe just how big this game is. But after the story has been written, the game is and always has been about the players, the modern-day gladiators of our sport. They are the biggest stars in town.
The players' rooms, where more than 12,000 players who've played this game at the highest level have prepared for action. Football's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. Growing up, I was glued to the TV, watching some of the game's greatest ever players. And I've been lucky enough to play with and against the modern day superstars. Imagine being able to watch more of yesterday's champions in action. Witten, Nichols, Baldock and Farmer. But there just wasn't the level of coverage then as there is today. We live in an age where every game is covered. So every memorable mark, every freakish goal and every match-winning moment can be replayed and remembered forever and a day. The coverage of our game has come a long way since the 1950s.
I've been lucky to call many games of football from here, and I suppose some of the game's great moments.
And the Magpies have done it. The last time was 1953.
It's the caller's job to accurately describe the game to the viewers and to entertain them. Sometimes it's the commentary that makes the moment even more special.
To the wing position on the member stand side. Oh, Jesselenko! You're guilty! I see it! Fremantle have won after the silence. Look at the scenes here at Fremantle.
Football broadcasting has, of course, changed a lot over the years. In my time, we had just 3 cameras covering the big games. Nowadays, there's up to 50 cameras covering the biggest matches. So now, tonight, we launch a 24-hour football channel. Who would ever have thought it? It's a whole new era of football on television, and the era begins right now. Over to a maestro, Eddie McGuire.
Thanks, Tony. Fox Footy is here and we're ready to go. I tell you what, we can't wait for this to begin. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. The biggest moments will happen right here live. The biggest stories in the game will unfold right here. And the biggest stars in the game will perform for you right here. Fox Footy, it's your team, your game, your channel. Let's get cracking.
Wheels around, gathers the football. He's kicked a miracle. He's put it through. Big fly again with a bar. Runs in, Ivory goal. That could be terminal. Can he have reflection? No, sirree. Shorts with the fly. Judd on brilliant. The Pies know they have to come again. You knew they would.
Welcome to Fox Footy, and what a big 115 years it's been in football. Welcome everybody to the start of a new era in the greatest game in the world, as Fox Footy brings you every game live, uninterrupted, siren to siren, in brilliant high definition and with IQ. Welcome to our team, welcome to our family, welcome to the biggest revolution in sport we've seen in Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, not only have we got the biggest names in the game watching and being part of the action on the ground, but we've got them calling them from the box as well, as I welcome my co-commentators tonight, a man who actually holds the record in the NAB Cup, or the secondary competition, for goals kicked. 116 in the secondary competition. Jason Dunstall, a stalwart of Fox football, 116 to go with his 12.54 that he kicked in the big time. Welcome Jason Dunstall, everybody, one of the stars.
May I say, Ed, it's fantastic to have you on board. I'm not quite sure if you said Etihad Stadium or Etihad Stadium, but nevertheless, you're part of a great team now, and we're on the verge of something special at Fox Footy. We're about to take the game to footy fans around the country as I've never seen it before. Every second of every match, new and innovative technology that no one's ever seen before I'm genuinely excited tonight.
It is. It's fantastic. It's like being a kid in the candy store, ready to go again. After all the years we've been involved in it, there is just a feel around the place tonight that Fox Footy and the Fox Footy channel is back. So too is this man joining me for the first time on Fox Footy. We've done a lot of shows over the years, Derm, but I tell you what, this is exciting. The 5-time day and 5-time night champion of the Hawthorn Football Club, Dermot Brereton.
We're the new kids on the block.
We are.
Really looking forward to tonight. I know it's the first hit out for the NAB Cup, and we see, I mean, it'll be the biggest day in the life of all these first-year players out here tonight, but for the second and third-year players, this is the chance when they get to say, how much have I improved? Am I going to be a bona fide star? So big night for a lot of people out there.
You know it's big because Dermot is genuinely excited. This time, last week he was with Snoop Dogg at the Super Bowl. So, he mixes in the high circles. There's no doubt about it. Paul Roos, what about this guy? One of the greatest thinkers in the game. He was the bloke we saw in our intro there who finally brought South Melbourne and Sydney that long premiership. And he's here tonight, one of the greats from Fitzroy and Sydney Swans. And as I said, one of the masterminds of coaching. Paul Roos, welcome aboard, buddy.
And welcome to you, Eddie and Dermot. Welcome to the channel, and good to see you again, Jake. Let me put my coaching hat on, though, Eddie. Fantastic. No excuse now for those players out there not to watch 9 games live, and if they don't, they can put on IQ. So for all the coaches and all the players, this is fantastic.
Can they spell IQ? That's the problem.
It doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter. Just push the button.
It's going to be great. Hey, seriously, though, the coaches will eat this up, won't they?
Yeah, no question. The frustration of the coaches when you ask the player, who are you playing this week? Did you see them play? Oh, no, I couldn't. I couldn't get on telly. Now, no excuses. So for all those blokes out there playing AFL footy, you must watch the game coming up. And you must watch the game before. You mightn't like what you see from the game before when you played it.
I'm telling you, the players will be hitting the delete button as much as they hit the record button. I'll tell you right now. There'll be things they don't like.
Well, the coaches will pick them up during the week. Don't worry about that.
And there's some things they might not like hearing as well from the commentary, because we're going to call it absolutely as we see it. But to back up our credentials, have a look at this. This is the tail of the tape of those calling the action on the Fox Footy channel. 8 Hall of Famers, 46 All-Australians, 30 best and fairest, 24 premierships, 4,641 goals, a fair few of those yours, Jace, and 3,975 games. That's a pretty good tail of the tape, as I said. Add to that, Dwayne Russell, a bloke who's made the jump from being a gun footballer into being one of the great sports commentators of our time, to Anthony Hudson, who just brings the real feel, as we heard there when he called that magnificent goal by Nick Davis in that preliminary final. And, of course, Matty Campbell, who not only knows everything about the odds, has played the game himself and has been a stalwart of the Fox Footy channel. They're fantastic people. They're going to bring you the game, ladies and gentlemen. They're your voice, they're your eyes and ears, they're your conduit from the players to you guys. Have a look at this, though. Give them a round of applause. Guys, a lot of people have asked me, how do we go live every time there's games on at the same times? This is how you're going to see your Fox Footy right throughout the weekend. On Friday night, 7:30 p.m, finally, Friday Night Football is live, everybody. Finally. On Fox Footy, no ads right the way through. Fox Footy Saturday, Game 2 Saturday afternoon, Game 4 Saturday afternoon, Game 6 Saturday night. Of course, there's Game 3 and 5. We'll have it on Fox Sports 1. So Fox Footy's there. If you don't like what you're seeing, you can switch straight across to Fox Sports 1. On a Sunday, same deal. Game 7 Sunday afternoon, and then the traditional Fox Sunday night twilight game. That's Game 9. Also, just overlapping a bit, Sunday afternoon, Game 8. Again, you've got control in your hand. You've got the IQ, you can record it, you can watch it, the whole thing. It's just fantastic, guys.
I mean, amazing when you think back when I was watching footy, it was the fish and chips on the Saturday night, and you got one game the last quarter. It's just exceptional for football fans all over Australia. Incredible. I can't wait to watch. We mightn't get off the couch for the weekend, but look, it's a great way to spend your weekend.
Yeah, we might see you in October sometime, because it doesn't just finish there, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the games that we watch. Of course, it's more than a game, this game of AFL football. After the bounce, Jace leading the team there with Flam and Spud Frawley and Alistair Lynch, 6:30. The one thing about doing my own show that night, Jace, is I don't get to watch it live anymore. I'll be IQing it. My kids will be watching it for sure, because we love that show on a Sunday night. AFL 360 with Gerard Whateley and Robbo. Monday to Thursday now, 7:30. That is compulsory viewing for everybody. On the Couch, one of the greatest sports shows in Australian TV history, with Mike Sheehan, Roosie and the great Gerard Healy, every Monday night at 8:30. And then AFL Insider every Tuesday, 8:30 again. David King joining Alistair Lynch and Jason Dunstall. Channel 504, that's your Fox Footy channel, by the way. And then it's league teams, Dermot Brereton, David Parkin, Tony Shaw and Brad Johnson, bringing you all the teams. First up, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Saving Time. That's where you find it. A great name. It's not Lou, Jack and Bob anymore, but those guys are pretty good replacements.
Now, Ed, one thing we didn't see a promo for there is after the bounce on Sunday nights, not until March 11, but on March 11 it kicks off EMT.
That's
Eddie
it.
McGuire tonight, and there are big rumours floating around that you're having guests the likes we've never seen before. I'm talking worldwide celebrity status.
Yeah, we are. That's what we're going to do. We're not only going to bring you the games and the biggest names of our games, but some of the biggest shapers of sport and entertainment right around the world and how that'll impact on our game. Also, we're going to look inside some of the issues, not the ones that we know about, the ones that we're going to know about. We're going to tell you what's happening in football in the next 3, 5, 10 years and analyse it and extrapolate on it and work it out. You'll find out everything that's happening in football from the inside on EMT on a Sunday night.
Drop us a name, mate. Drop us a name.
One person. Give us one.
I can't give you one, but I did get a confirmation today that one of the most powerful people in world sport will be one of my first guests.
Dermot Brereton.
He is, that's him. Hey, it's not only that, but we've got some of the best specials going around. Don't forget, have a look at this for some of the lineups, documentaries and insider action on Fox Footy. This is what we're going to see. A magnificent broadcast looking back at last year's grand final. This is one I personally won't be IQing. I just might let this one go altogether. But have a look at this as a bit of a teaser of what's to come of how the Cats won the premiership.
So this is as raw as footy really gets for us at the moment.
As we look back at James Posey, they're trying to put his shoulder back in on the ground. He's in an enormous amount of pain.
This is a diabolical situation now because we have the medical staff on the other side of the ground from the coach's box. We don't have any communication.
Accentuate it a little.
Put a bit of mayo on it.
Oh, I don't know. Do you want to come over here and I'll see what you're at?
Help us out with the lip reading if you can. Chris, what were you saying there?
Well, yeah, it's a good opportunity to actually explain what we were talking about in the box.
This time of the game, so I remember talking in the back line. I got a feeling our midfielders are starting to get on top.
The first 5 minutes after the siren goes is without doubt the greatest, say, sporting feeling of your life. It's quite incredible.
You just can't miss television like that. A full insight into how Geelong won the premiership in 2011. Hey, Dermot Brereton, as I said, is on our show. Have a look at this. Derm hasn't mucked around over the summer. He might have been at the Super Bowl. He might have been at Snoop Dogg's private party. But he's been preparing himself and preening himself. Is that a surprise to you, Jason?
That's just Dermot doing what he loves best, Ed.
You can tell that's in the studio because at home it would have had mirrors all around. But have a look at this. Derm, back at the Windy Hill.
Oh, those dirty, rotten Bombers. A bit of fun, and thanks to Essendon and James for doing that. Just reliving a little bit of history back in '89 when the Pig was having a go at his 100th goal, and I gave away a free kick, and it led to one incident after the other.
You're lining up for your 100th goal, and this bloke gets a disallowed.
It's another case of Dermot being selfish. He wanted to add to his own highlights reel, so he had the goal disallowed. And then carried on like a pork chop, and that's all the footage we see now. You don't see me kicking the ball.
Have a look at one.
All about Dermot,
Ed. You had gone to ground like a shot something or other, and so we came in to help you out, which you didn't appreciate.
Umpire Ian Clayton in your face. One, look at the shorts. Two, look at the hair. It's unbelievable.
Actually, I wouldn't mind
Here's
that
the huddle.
Back now.
Here's the huddle, and watch Dermot going through Kevin Sheedy's Essendon huddle.
Look at Bungo. I mean, Jason at the top.
You watch me turn back.
And
now I start to come in. I was just about to get you out of a tight spot there.
Now, with the coverage we have now, how many weeks would you
12
get?
weeks.
12?
14.
That was one camera locked off. We'll have about 25 all over the place, Dermot's fantastic. All right, guys, it's going to be great. We look forward to seeing league teams with Dermot Brereton. Hey, I went down to AFL House just to get back into the footy spirit. I thought I'd take on the boss, Andrew Demetrio. Needless to say, it didn't quite go as I expected.
Hey, mate. Go ahead, how are you?
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year to you. How are you, right?
Oh, mate. Busy. How good's the summer?
It was good, except for a couple of cold days. It was good.
Did you get away?
Yeah, went down the coast with the kids and chased them around for a month.
But it's going to be big this year. I reckon the footy, the cricket, the tennis has been huge. It's just whetted the appetite. Everyone's all pumped up.
Yeah, no, it's been an exciting summer, but I can't wait, actually. And tell you what, you put together a good team, though.
Oh, mate, it's a beauty.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the ad with Buddy's good.
Buddy's a ripper.
Yeah.
Boys, sorry, can we just come in and make up?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, mate. No worries. Oh, dear, man. Andrew, welcome. Huge year coming up in season 2012. Can't wait for the footy to get going. What about yourself?
Looking forward to it, Ed. It's going to be a big year, and can't wait for Fox Footy to start, to be quite truthful.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic to have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, high-definition, IQ. Just magnificent, isn't it?
Every game live, ad-free, and a high divorce rate in this country, Ed.
Exactly, mate. That's the default mechanism now. Blokes sitting on the couch, out in sheds all over Australia, just watching Fox Footy 24/7. It's going to be magnificent.
Can't wait, and it's going to be a great season.
Yeah, mate. Andrew, some big issues in football coming up this year. It's going to be...
Eddie, before you go on, I've got a few questions for you.
For me?
For you. Look, you haven't called football for around about 6 years, I understand.
Yeah.
The game's got a lot quicker, new faces, new names. You think you're up to it?
Well, I suppose time will tell, Andrew, now that you put it to me, but I hope so. Yeah, the game's quickened up a fair bit, but at the same time it's slowed up in the back half, and it's the insider stuff that we're going to bring on Fox Footy. When you've got Dermot Brereton, Paul Roos, Gerard Healy, all these great people in there analysing the game.
Well, I've got no issues with the other guys. I'm just worried about you.
Mate, you
can keep up with
You're going to be sitting in the boardroom too long.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah.
New faces, a couple of guys have left. You've lost Leon Davis, you've lost Lee Brown. You've lost the master, Mick Malthouse. How do you think Collingwood's going to go?
Well, all right, until you brought that up. Right, I think the Pies are going to be the team to beat this year. Obviously, Geelong are the champions and we have to go after them, but I don't have any worries about where Collingwood will be. The pre-season so far has been fantastic. Nathan Buckley has proven that the succession plan has worked to this stage. That is, he's 100% ready to go.
Going to be hard for you watching your love child coach?
It's going to be very hard. It was hard enough watching Mick coach, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Now, I understand that as a little tacker from the age that you can remember, you've always been a Collingwood supporter.
Yeah.
It's in your veins. But the rest of your family have been Essendon supporters.
Well, unfortunately, being migrants, they had no idea. They came to this country looking for opportunity, and they were dumped out in Broadmeadows, and the closest football club basically was Essendon on the Broadmeadows line. So
you've got some empathy for Essendon, obviously.
I've got no empathy for Essendon whatsoever. No. They like to think every now and again that they're the big club in town, and then we knock them on the head and show that we are.
Well, let's get to the serious stuff, because we've danced around the edges. Let's get to the serious stuff. I'm going to test you with a few numbers.
Okay.
Number 19, Carlton.
19, Carlton. My namesake, Eddie Betts. And, of course, since you changed the legislation, this Eddie can't bet on the football anymore.
Number 36 for Brisbane Lions.
I can see a trend here. My other namesake, Goose McGuire. Is
Correct.
a Goose because he spells it M-A-G instead of M-C-G.
Number 44 for Essendon.
44 for Essendon. Justin Madden, back in the old days. I'm not interested about Essendon. I don't care about Essendon. I don't know, somebody.
So, Eddie, number 36 for Collingwood.
36 for Collingwood. I know who it is, mate, but it doesn't matter because I'm not calling the Collingwood games.
You're not calling Collingwood games?
No, I just thought I'd get everybody a little bit of peace and quiet.
What are we going to talk about all week? If
Tim Lane will have nothing to hang his hat on for the next 12 months.
You're going to be wearing a Fox Footy jacket?
I'll be wearing a Fox Footy jacket. I'll be playing for the team.
Okay. So, Eddie, I think you're ready. You've answered every question. Look forward to hearing you call. Best of luck to the Fox Footy team. They're a fantastic team. I can't wait for the footy to start. Best of luck. See you during the year.
You're wrapping me up, eh? I've got a whole list of questions here to go through.
Or maybe next time.
Next time. See you on Eddie McGuire tonight.
Look forward to it.
Sunday nights at 8:30 on Foxtel.
All the best.
Good on you, mate.
Did you fire a shot?
He got me.
You didn't get a shot out.
I'll hold it for the 8:30 show. I'm sure we'll talk to Andrew Rudd throughout the year, but well done to the AFL for being great partners of Fox Footy as we get into this 2012 season. Joe's going to hand it over to you now. The boys and I are going to get ready to call the first game. It's going to be fantastic.
Yep.
And as we go to the break for the first time, it's not just us people here at the football who love our game. Even in the corridors of power in Canberra, they're talking footy.
There are 18 teams in the AFL, but for me, there can only be one love. And that's the Fighting Western Bulldogs.
Johnson for the first
I always keep a doggy scarf on my desk, the one I'm wearing now. It speaks of loyalty and history, and it speaks of hope too. The Dogs have never won a flag in my lifetime, and it's that goal which keeps us going week after week, year after year. I'm passionate about footy, so much so that I even managed to smuggle a Sharon into the White House, so President Obama has a reminder of our great game as well. Because AFL is a great game, and it's our game, created and nurtured right here on Australian soil. Go Dogs.
Monday 7:30, The Odd Couple are back, live 4 nights a week for the biggest season ever.
A different dimension in football dissection.
And a higher calibre of controversy.
He does not go down as Brown goes down.
This is the media covering the media.
The private lives of AFL players have been scrutinised like never before.
Bringing you the facts. They have taken no responsibility for ending the career of the coach that they had there.
What happens in footy?
You'll hear it here first.
I love the emotion coming out in you.
Live.
4 nights a week.
AFL 360 returns Monday 7:30 only on Fox Footy.
It's probably the greatest individual game that I've seen, which stands out more than the others. It was probably Gary Ablett Senior in the 1989 Grand Final. You know, I was only a 6-year-old watching at the time. It's just one of those games that's really stood out, and I'll remember it forever. Look, Carey's the one that probably stands out for mine. I haven't seen Lee Matthews play, but yeah, he just really stands out. He always used to step out at a really important stage of the game, and he was pretty dominant and a complete player. So Adam Goodes is always one that springs to mind. Love watching him play. You know, played a fair bit of footy against him over my career. G. Ablett is great to watch. You know, Buddy, Lenny Hayes, there's lots of players who really love watching him, and usually probably enjoy watching the mids a little bit more just because that's the position I play and like to watch how they go about it. I think if you're a woman looking to select the perfect being to procreate with, you couldn't go too far past Nick Naitanui, I wouldn't have thought. Just get your son playing footy from the age of 3 as opposed to the age of 14, but I think the competition's pretty lucky. Nick Nat only started a relatively short time ago because he's still pretty special.
Isn't it great listening to some of the stars talk about what they love about the game of AFL? Well, it is Fox Footy tonight launching round 1 of NAB Cup. Fox Footy 2012, the most extensive coverage of the game that is ever going to come your way. The boys are gearing up for round 1 of the NAB Cup tonight. I'm joined by a couple of likely types, big names in their own right, in Brad Johnson and Alistair Lynch. But perhaps the biggest name in the game currently is sitting alongside us as well. I speak of Buddy Franklin. Welcome, gents. And Buddy, welcome to you as well.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You must be excited, pleased to have the great man here with us, if you don't mind. Now, what makes it particularly interesting is you're preparing for a game tonight.
I am. It's a little bit different.
It is, isn't
doing
it?
an interview before a game, but yeah, I'm excited to get out there tonight. The boys are really pumped for a good game and see how we go.
How much game time are we expecting from the great man himself in the 23 jumper?
Yeah, I'm going to play the 4 quarters, so both halves, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there. It's been a pretty long pre-season for the boys, so we're all just excited to get out there.
It's certainly a sign of the times, isn't it, that we have access to someone like Buddy Franklin just before he's about to play a game. Enormous amount of change over the years, from the old VFL days when you were running around, Jason, through our eras, I suppose. I'll try to claim that I'm younger as you, but it has changed a lot. I mean, you would have noticed a big change in your time in the game as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think football's moving very fast at the moment, and firstly, from when I first got drafted to now, everything's changed in terms of the professionalism around the footy club, and yeah, it's really good to be a part of it.
We just heard Chris Judd talking a moment ago, and I think this little snapshot here encapsulates just how much the players have evolved in the game of AFL.
John Nichols, the great ruckman of the 60s and 70s, and Chris Judd, their superstar captain of today, are the only 2 men to have won Carlton's best and fairest 3 years in a row. There is no better comparison of the changing face of football. While Nick, with those massive thighs, carried an extra 15 kilos, he and Judd, today's midfield prototype, are exactly the same height, topping the tape at 189 centimetres. Think about Big Nick, a prince among ruckmen, or his nemesis Polly Farmer too. And then think about today's young giants, Aaron Sandilands, or Dean Cox, or Todd Goldstein. As summer herds a murmur, size isn't everything, but it sure helps. The professionalism of our game has seen players fitter, faster and more durable than ever. Think Lance Franklin for all of the above. Today we look at our champions and dare to compare Gary Ablett Jr. and Kevin Bartlett. Lee Matthews and Dane Swan. Nick Rebold and Royce Hart. While there has been change, one constant always remains. Class wins out in the long run.
It's extraordinary stuff, isn't it? And great to see the AFL's CEO moonlighting as a special commentator voiceover guru. Very impressive, Andrew Demetrio. Well, just typifies, though, buddy, right now you stand 6'6"?
6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
You would tower over the ruckman of yesteryear. It's extraordinary stuff to look at an on-baller like Chris Judd, who was the same height as one of the great ruckmen of yesteryear.
Yeah, definitely. I think football's changed to when it back in your day. So
let's not go back that far, mate. Let's not go back that far. This is your 8th season. How has it changed in the 8-year period you've been here? Let's talk about training for starters. Like, is training tougher now, or is it easier now that you've gotten the routine?
I think probably the first 1 to 2 years is difficult, just getting into the program and getting used to it. But after that, it gets a little bit easier, and you get to know the routine of exactly what you need to do. But yeah, it's definitely changed. The fitness base of players is definitely lifted, and in the gym too. There's a lot more emphasis in that, and a lot more work goes into that side of the program now.
Buddy, what about the game plan and the strategies? Because there's that many coaches involved at footy clubs now. They all want to get their piece and put that message across. Is that another thing that you've seen change over time?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've probably got more coaches than players at our footy club. So, yeah, the coaches have got a big say in the way we go about our game plan, and it does come back to the players too. And we give them feedback, and they give us feedback on the way we want to play our game style.
Jono, you played over the course of about 17 years. What was the big thing that you noticed that changed? I mean, almost from an amateur game right through to very professional, where you were probably doing, I know when I started and Jay started, we were probably doing 3 or 4 sessions a week.
Yep.
Now
Too many.
doing an enormous amount.
Well, I did start in that time where it was 3 sessions a week. The main drill was circle work, and if the coach wanted to mix it up, he'd send you the other way, or maybe throw a red or a yellow footy in. So that was the big thing, going to professional 5 days a week, 6 days a week of training leading into a game. Analysis is probably the biggest side of things. We went from getting a VHS tape on the Friday afternoon with some basic footage of your likely opponent that week, to then it going to DVD, then on your iPad and what it is today. But it's the above ground footage. That's the biggest tool that all players use today in their analysis, in their preparation for who they're likely to line up on, but more so for the team, how they're going to battle the opposition on a weekly basis.
Absolutely, and to the degree where you go to sports nutrition and sports science, and I mean, it got to a ridiculous degree where we were travelling interstate, and I don't know how they go now, but I was about 34 years old, and they were cleaning my minibar out.
How'd you go with that?
I reckon at 34 I'm capable of grabbing a chockie if I want. I'm not going to have a beer, but no, that was going a little bit too far. And how would you cope with something like back in Fitzroy days? I know we spoke about it last year. Fitzroy days, about 1991, we played Hawthorn at North Hobart Oval, the Fitzroy Footy Club. We'll build it out. How would you go with that?
I'm going to probably struggle.
Well, I can assure you the likes of Paul Roos, Richard Osborne, Gary Pert will all build it out.
Would have been okay for an 18-year-old, but a 30-year-old getting billeted out.
All right, we heard Chris Judd talking about some of the players that he's loved to watch play the game. Buddy, you've been good enough to put together 5 of your favourites for us.
Jesus,
I'm looking forward to seeing who you've come up with.
What have we got at
number 5?
We've got Swanee. Yeah, just an outstanding player, Brownlow medalist. Just continues to get the ball, doesn't he, really?
Big Jonathan Brown, a man that plays your position.
Yeah, definitely look up to Johnny Brown. He's a great centre-half forward and been around for a long number of years now.
There's a theme coming now, isn't there?
There is a theme coming. We've got a lot of forwards, so Revolt.
At number 2.
We've got Cyril too, so I'm lucky enough to play with Cyril, so I'll see what he's done at training and what he does out on the ground. Then we've got number 1, Ablett.
Would Cyril be disappointed that he's not number 1?
I think so. Yeah, Cyril's a very quiet kid, and I think he'd be happy with the number 2 position behind Gazza.
5 reasonably handy players, I must admit. Tell me, we saw the heartbreaking loss. We saw a little clip earlier of the heartbreaking preliminary final loss to Collingwood, which brought a big smile to Eddie McGuire's face. Not so to us. Have the players spoken about that during the pre-season at all?
Yeah, I think after every finals loss, it's pretty much spoken about through the pre-season among most of the players in the change rooms, and I think it's driving us this year. And we've obviously had a pretty good pre-season, like most clubs have at this time of the year. But yeah, we'll just see what happens this year and just take it one game at a time and just get through. I think anything can happen once you get into the finals, and hopefully we can do that and no injuries.
And of course, taking it one game at a time, your next game, round one, just happens to be against Collingwood.
Yeah, it is. We've got two of the best teams, Collingwood and Geelong, coming up in the first 2 rounds, so that'll it will be a good test to see where we're at straight away.
And the week before that big prelim final, there was a massive scare with your knee. How has it come up? Obviously, you got back out onto the ground and played the following week, but how is it now? Any implications from that injury?
No, it was fine. It was obviously just jarred it pretty badly, but just after the season, just rested it for a good 8 weeks and didn't do much, and have come back and it's been fine.
Have you got any thoughts on how the opposition may play you? Because you may get up the ground a little bit more this season. Do you think they'll try and put a midfielder on you at certain stages, which you'll probably love? But similar to when Matty Richardson used to do it for the Tigers, you just couldn't match up with him. They'd try 2 or 3 guys, which then, in effect, helps your teammates as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think pushing up the ground obviously creates other options up the forward line for David Hale, and then we've got young Gunston to come in, and then Ruffy too. So it's just creating other options up forward for the team, and I think I'll enjoy it up on the ball, bit of free ball.
Well, quite frankly, I think from an opposition coach's point of view, you can go as far up the ground as you want. Preferably back pocket would be great.
The further the better. Off-field things are going very well for you as well. There's an incredible celebrity status attached to players these days, and the scrutiny's like never before, but sometimes you have a big win, like when you front an advertising campaign for a new network like Fox Footy. How was that experience?
It wasn't too bad, mate. I had the beard going, and I had a little bet with one of the boys that I didn't want to shave it off, and rocked up to the Foxtel commercial, and they said I had to clipper it off, and this went on for about an hour and a half, and I didn't want to do it, but yeah, I got over it and ended up clipping it off, and I had the little baby face going.
It's been received tremendously well. Let's have a look at the big man doing his stuff.
Looking for Franklin, nothing between him and the goals. He's had a couple of bounces. He gets to the 50. Oh, surely he couldn't from here. Buddy Franklin.
There are moments in footy that change the game forever. Now, in a television first, you can live every moment of every round live on Fox Footy, the new 24/7 AFL channel launching February 17, included in your sports pack for no extra charge. That's your team live every round with no ad breaks, siren to siren.
He can go, this boy, but it doesn't always go according to plan, does it?
Yeah, there was a few takes for that ad. I think it was about 40 hours worth of work there for 60 seconds. But yeah, worked with a good crew at Foxtel and it came up well.
Had a nice run-in with a young fella as well. Take a look at this.
He's going to be a soccer player, though.
You stay true to our
Come to Collingwood, mate. We give every
Oh, my God.
Don't do it.
We'll give you $100.
No way. It cost you more than that.
Eddie McGuire's trying to bribe people to be Collingwood supporters. That's amazing.
You bred him well there at Hawthorn. He resisted. He gave it back. I don't know whether I would have given
I wish
it back.
he wasn't going to give it back. He should have just taken off.
He was going.
Buddy, what about the significant role that Spud and Jace played in that TV ad? They were on there for, what, 30 or half a second?
Half an hour, I reckon they were there and then they were out there.
You want to compare pay packets, Lynchy? Spud and I got a handshake, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Mate, thanks for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you in action. What position are you going to start in, do you think?
I think in the midfield tonight.
Ooh, looking forward to that. A big thank you, please, for Buddy Franklin joining us prior to his NAB Cup match tonight. Well, the Kangaroos and the Tigers are preparing to kick off the NAB Cup in round one. They'll be the first game on tonight here at Etihad Stadium. You can see them in the rooms getting themselves organised. So we'll be catching that match as soon as it kicks off. We've also got Paul Roos, who's catching up with a couple of young men that had a tremendous on-field rivalry. They're going to resume that rivalry in the coach's box. So that's going to be extremely exciting. And it's fair to say that we do all love this game. And as we take a short break, here's a few names that I think you'll recognise talking about AFL.
All right, Mac, what do you know about Aussie rules football?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about it. I know that this ball appears to be bigger than American football. I know that you're going to tell me that the Aussie rules players are tougher because they don't wear pads.
That's very true. And well, my team is the Hawks, the Hawthorn Hawks. One of the best teams.
Yeah, well, I hear they're a good team, but my understanding is they got a bit of a problem with their defense. Is that true?
Oh, is that right? Yeah, well,
that's what I've heard in the States.
We probably could do with a big, tough guy, somebody bit like this guy, actually.
Hello, mate. Hey, John.
How's it going,
This
mate?
is what we need. We need some big tough guys back in the Hawks team.
Oh, well, you can't do what we used to do, but they've got a couple of options coming out. Gillam's coming back from injury, and the big roughie might just pinch hit down back as well. He's a big unit.
Whoa. Hold on. I've been told by my crack producers that Ruffy's got a bit of Achilles problem.
That is true.
So how's he going to come off early in the season?
Well, they'll just ease him into it, John. They'll
I
ease
see,
him into it.
okay.
When you're about 110, 115 kilos and you've got a bit of agility, you don't want to go in there.
I wouldn't know.
Speaking of agility, we've got Sirioli. We're going to throw him down the midfield.
We want him to spend more time in the midfield. He's so talented. Just needs to get a bigger tank to run out most of the game in there. Yeah.
Rioli somehow through traffic. It would be a miracle. Oh, they don't come any better than that.
And we've got new teams.
Yes, we do. John, I know you're a Giants man in the NFL.
Yes.
So
yes.
you have a team to follow here in the AFL. That is the Western Sydney Giants. Greater Western Sydney.
Greater Western Sydney.
They won't win a game, though. They're full of youngsters.
Thank you for throwing me to the wolves. I appreciate that.
Triple header live with no ad breaks, siren to siren, in stunning HD.
Oh, brilliant!
Footy's back. Hallelujah. And it's only on Fox Footy.
Ted and I were mates, and I just knew how much he loved football, and I must confess I had a few tears in my eyes too, as a lot of people did. There must have been thousands of people here that day, and it'll be a day and a thing that's never forgotten. In the finals, I can remember being at a match with Bobby Skilton, the greatest ever player. We were both crying, so that gives you a bit of a measure of the pleasure. A funny way to show it, I understand that, but it's just gorgeous. I can imagine that he would have got one of the greatest thrills of his life, and he's a triple Brownlow medalist, you know. I'm fortunate to share in that.
Don't look at me like that. How many kicks have you got? That's the answer to everything. Possessions. You give me possessions and I'll shut up.
To do an individual thing, okay, it's you, and it's a great thing. But to do a team thing, if you're part of a group, it's a bigger thing, and you feel it, and the vibes are just absolutely sensational. To be the first coach at North Melbourne to win a premiership for them, you know, I mean, it was just one of my greatest thrills.
A true legend of the game, Ron Barassi, reminiscing about some special on-field moments. And right now is a very special moment for me because I get to welcome a gentleman that I've become very close with. We spend a lot of time together on After the Bounce. He doesn't give me a moment's peace, but it's always great having him right next to me. I speak of St Kilda legend, captain and a champion fullback, Danny Frawley. Spud, welcome to you, mate.
Well, Jono, Lynchy, I'm taken back. That's actually...
That's the biggest rap you've ever had for me.
I tell you, you
mate,
boys are looking sharp too, by the way.
We're gearing up for another season, but it's not just another year, because it's bigger and better than ever before, isn't it?
Oh, look, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's been a great opening. Really looking forward to seeing the football. And you just see Lance Franklin, who was sitting in this seat, the prototype of the modern player. What an absolute superstar he is.
How good did he look?
I want to know, if you had to line up against Buddy Franklin, what would you have done?
Drop him early, I reckon.
Do a hamstring early. Do a hamstring and limp off. That's the only way.
I reckon he might have gone Lynchy's route and just clubbed him early and seen what he was made of.
One umpire maybe get away with, not three.
Well, it's fair to say when it does come to special moments on field, this game revolves around one thing more than anything else, and that's premierships.
The game is about winning premierships, and so many of the greatest stories have centred on that grand final drama. What was bigger? Hawthorn ending years of hardship as Kennedy's Commandos took out their first in 1961? Or was it St Kilda's famous one-point win over Collingwood to break through 5 years later, courtesy of a wobbly behind from youngster Barry Breen? Lee Matthews figured in so many headline-grabbing acts, some like the knockout blow on Neville Bruns he'd sooner forget. but his appearance on the boundary line in 1990 heralded the end of the Collywobbles and paved the way for a triple treat in the decade ahead with the Brisbane Lions.
The Brisbane Lions have done it!
There were so many memorable moments. Jez's mark in 1970 with Mike Williamson at his best. Plugger's record-breaking 1300th goal. And Nicky Winmar making a stand. Talking of marks, did Leaping Leo Barry's effort overshadow even Jez's hanger? When he ended 72 years of disappointment with his match-saving premiership-winning mark in the grand final of 05? And ask anyone who was at the MCG for the 82 grand final. The highlight? The guest appearance of a bottle blonde named Helen D'Amico. Now, didn't that get the blood pressure up?
A very arresting situation coming up here.
Well, I guess some moments are special for different reasons, aren't they? And we've got some players right here, some former players that are now big names of the game that played a lot of matches over many, many years. And I suspect each of you has special memories, and I'm just going to ask you for one each, Jono. We'll kick it off with you.
Yeah, look, there's 100 moments that happen in a game, and we remember the really special ones. And the one that I was 13 years of age, and I was watching the grand final, 89, and Dermot Brereton comes off the line, gets whacked by Yates really hard. We see on screen here, massive hit, stands up for his team, doesn't want to go off the ground, obviously opening bounce of a grand final, goes back to his position, and then goes back with the flight of the ball. I'll get goosebumps talking about it. Goes back with the flight of the ball. What courage. Takes a mark, goes back, slots the goal.
Don't pump him up, Jono. He's whinging.
And I'm not doing it on the fact that he has joined us this year, but at half-time, goes into the rooms, talks to the doctor. He's got a couple of cracked ribs, finds out after the game he's got a small split in his kidney. He said to the doc, I'm spitting up blood, what do I do? Drink water and don't tell anyone was the doctor's reply. So.
I think that mark there, Jason was a bit disappointed. You actually just about marked the ball and Dermot's come back.
Well, he's in the way. He's not supposed to be down there, but he wouldn't go off. I told the doctor to get him off, but he wouldn't go, unfortunately. What about you, Spud? What about a moment from you?
Well, I was weighing up Lockett's point to get the Swans into the 96 grand final, but I went for the Swans again in 2005. Roosie, absolutely outstanding coach, but a fellow backman, Lynch, I know you started your career, but to me, that was a moment that encapsulated that game. It was neck and neck all the way. Now have a look. You got Seavey, Judd, and if Leo Barry had have spoilt the ball, have a look at the front and square players for the Eagles. And he took it upon himself, the courage to mark the ball in the dying moments of a grand final. That's the stuff that dreams are made of.
It was a great moment, great grab in a pack of about 20 people.
Unbelievable.
Lynchy, you're part of a Brisbane Lions era that was as dominant as any other in the history of the game, but you've come up with a moment that didn't involve the Lions.
No, I come up with one that's had a cultural impact on the AFL, and certainly you were involved, Spud. It was this one, the Nicky Winmar incident at Victoria Park in 1993. And this made a real change in the AFL and the greater community for mine. And the fact now that we have 79 Indigenous players going around the competition, stars like Nicky Winmar and Buddy Franklin that have come through and dominated the game, it must have been a very major impact on the club and the AFL when you're playing in that game.
Not only that, they were superstars. It was the first time the Saints had won for 26 years at Vic Park. Gil McAdam, another Indigenous player, had 3 votes, and Nicky Winmar 2. Absolutely sensational players. And I think that's one of the all-time great moments in sport where we're a very inclusive sport in the AFL. And I think that's been outstanding. And we've led the way in AFL football in a whole range of respect and responsibility, etc.
Well, I think that was the precursor to the racial vilification policy that the AFL has, and now is copied by many competitions around the world.
Now,
all great moments.
Yeah, now you're the host. Now, obviously 1,250 odd goals, 4 or 5 flags. What's your greatest moment in football?
I think we were all privileged to play the game, Spud. I treasured every minute that I was involved over 14 years.
Yeah,
and for me,
moment?
every moment was special.
Every moment?
Every moment.
I knew he'd say that. He's one of those team players. So I've picked one out, boys. I've picked one out for him. Here it is. It's the 85 Premiership. Now, Jason
He'd be in the middle there somewhere, wouldn't he?
He's come from full forward.
Have a look at Jace.
Lethal's gone berserk.
Now, it's on the wing. Now, Jace doesn't run that far on his holidays normally, but he finally gets down there at some stage. There he is, just out the back.
He'd be going berserk somewhere there, wouldn't he?
Look at Terry Wallace, all his teammates. There's Dermot.
He must be there by now.
Have a look at Jace. Let me out of here. The only thing Kevin Walsh.
Oh, I was protecting my teammate. There I go, and I got another one, Spud. I got another one. one.
The only thing that kept you on the ground there was the fence. I've got no doubting that whatsoever.
Can I just say, nothing special about that moment. We got hammered. It was my first grand final. I was terrified. There were blokes throwing cut lunches everywhere. My first year of footy. I didn't know what was going on, Spud.
It's a good
Nothing
idea.
too special there at all.
Very good move, I reckon, Jason. Smart position to be in.
Plenty of special moments provided by a couple of heavyweights of the game. I'm talking about Nathan Buckley and also James Hird, two stars of the game that are now, in fact, coaching. Paul Roos had the opportunity to catch up and have a chat to them.
Well, Hirdy Bucks, welcome to the MCG. Certainly a ground we all love playing on, but just memories for you guys. Firstly, you, Hirdy.
Oh, probably the two premierships in '93 and 2000 are the greatest memories. And you know, when MCG was our home ground back in the 90s, just the amazing crowds we used to get and the great experience of playing here on a Saturday afternoon, whether against Collingwood on Anzac Day, whether it be against Carlton, whether it be against Richmond. The feeling you got was a really special feeling on the middle of the MCG with your tribe around you, your crowd around you, and nothing seems to ever be able to replace that.
Bucks?
1980, first time I came and watched the game. It was actually a Richmond-Collingwood game, the old 3 wooden panels for seats and trying to stand up and look over the people in front of you. And it's always been that. I think it's fairly iconic. Heard he was talking about Essendon having it as a home ground. I've been fortunate enough to, through the Collingwood career, to have it as our home ground for the majority of it. And 80,000-90,000 people sort of rocking up. It gives you a reason to work hard during the week to take advantage of.
Heard you've got 12 months on Bucks. So if you were to pick one thing, what would that one piece of advice be?
I don't want to give advice, he's been in coaching longer than I have, but just that headspace. I reckon you get home at the end of every day and you don't have headspace so much, because what I mean by that is that you're the person everyone wants to speak to all day, every day. And trying to do that, but also get away from that and have some time to think about your game plan, about your structure, about your players. Probably that's the thing that I found hardest last year, was when am I going to get time to actually think through the issues and come to decisions rather than just making bang, 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 bang all the time. So,
I mean, we know the game's evolved and we've seen it evolve and so forth. Where do you see it going in the next 12 months, 2 years, 3 years?
That's a good one, mate. You can answer.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that the AFL are keen to reduce rotations. And in the end, I think every club will go into bat for where they believe perhaps either a competitive advantage, and I think that's first and foremost whether they declare it or not. Most clubs are batting for their own competitive advantages, or whether it's a belief that the club believes that this is a more attractive brand of footy, that we should maintain this current path of legislation, I suppose. But it seems that the AFL want to reduce rotations, try and reduce congestion around the ball. They've been very clear with what they're trying to do.
Yep.
So it might go to 2. If it goes to 2 and 2 in the next couple of years, it's going to become once again a more aerobic game, more transition. It's going to bring the repeat speed endurance sort of back into the game.
I think the problem I see with that, and get your comments heard, is probably fine for you guys because you're both great athletes, great aerobic athletes, but it just seems they're trying to narrow the window of the type of players we can bring into our games. I mean, the really exciting Indigenous players that perhaps haven't got, the aerobic capacity. I mean, do you see that as a danger to the game?
It's an interesting thing, actually, you talk about guys who haven't got that natural endurance. If you do go to 2 on 2 and you're after a more endurance game, you might be taking out the really quick guys. And unfortunately, some of those guys are Indigenous. The Indigenous guys have fantastic speed, fantastic skills. Just because of the way they're trained as kids might not have that endurance. So that would be very sad if they do go down that path.
You touched on it, heard him. We talked a little bit about before, and Bucks is about to go into it. But it is that mix of family. I mean, the footy is 24 hours a day. I mean, how do you find getting time with the family and maybe some advice for Bucks as well on that?
My family's the most important thing to me, and I wouldn't do this job if I thought it was going to compromise my family. Yes, you work hard, but there are a lot of jobs you work hard in. I think you just got to set some boundaries. That the footy's footy, and you work hard, and you're there, and you're clocked on. But creating time when you can get home with young children at a certain time and when they're awake is really important for me. So I create a time in the day that I, sort of 6, 7 at night when I can actually see them. I can work all day before it, all day after, all night after if need be. But there's a specific period in the day that I want to see them. And luckily my boys are only young and my daughter's young, so play sport early Saturday, Sunday morning. So unless we're in a state, you actually get to see that. And they're really important things for me, that you have that family time together, and they often get forgotten, but actually trying to see your wife now and then and have a normal conversation with her tends to help your relationship. So if
and not talk to her about contested footy.
That's right. Yeah, she's not that interested in contested footy, and knowing Nathan's wife not that well, but I wouldn't imagine that contested footy would be the topic at the dinner table too often.
Collingwood, big football club, are you prepared to say no? I mean, because you're going to have to say no, isn't he? He's going to have to say no to a lot of things. Have you thought about that? No, I can't do that. No, I've got to spend time here, because I think that's a really important part of the balance.
Yeah, look, I think there's got to be non-negotiables with how you go about things. I mean, whether it's a game plan, whether it's your structure during the week, or your personal life and your balance. So I suppose, once again, the experience as an assistant coach has given me an insight into that, and I reckon there was no balance in my first year at the footy club as an assistant coach. It was just more is better, and that was probably an attitude I had for the majority of my playing career as well. So that comes pretty naturally to me. But I didn't have a young family then, and you probably can afford to be more selfish about it. I've got 2 boys, 5 and 3, and once again, just as Erdy said, you end up getting back to spend a couple of hours with them in the evenings, and my wife and I generally sit down after they've gone down to bed for an hour or so and make sure that we try and sort of separate football from the conversation and just touch base. Touch base, yeah.
Now, boys, we've talked a lot about balance and doing the right things. Now, being in the media now, we are going to keep an eye on you. So I just want you to cast your attention onto the behaviour of some of these coaches.
Remember that game?
Seen that one before?
That was his last game. He was a West Coast coach. Yeah. His last win.
You know, if that's going to happen, I want to show you the outcome.
It's not a good look, is it?
You look all right.
I'm not sure about that.
A few little tips from me how to go about it, all right?
You're not allowed to smile. You got in trouble for that.
Yeah, I got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Well, boys, hey, listen, look, it's been great to catch up with you, and good luck in 2012.
Thanks, Rudy.
He's adapted very nicely, Paul Roos, to this side of the camera, let me tell you. I thought Nathan Buckley and James Hird both looked all right without hair. I think very handsome men that can... You don't need hair to look good, boys, do you?
Not many look good, mate.
I certainly am not one.
They were superstar players, but no stone unturned. We saw what Hird did last year. I think Nathan Buckley's going to be an outstanding coach.
Well, they certainly are a couple of intuitive minds, and you can catch that full interview. You do not want to miss it. That's March the 15th at 9:30 p.m. That's Eastern Time. Brucey having a fantastic chat with James Hird and also Nathan Buckley.
Well, you boys are going well. I'm off.
What do you mean you're off?
No, you're going
Just
well.
arrived,
I've got to finish off a summer job that I've been working on for about 3 or 4 months. So you boys will be right.
You're kidding. You haven't worked in your life.
No, just an old farm boy. I'm an old farm boy from way back. I've been whacking away down there at Coventry Street.
Oh, you have
and
been.
It's just magnificent. I'm just going to put the finishing touches on a job I've been working on, boys. So have a good show, lads. All right? This will be good, Chief.
This will be good, actually.
I reckon he's been doing too much whacking away.
He's been smacked around the head far too much, I think.
He's a freak.
Big fella.
Stick with us on Fox Footy as we gear up for round 1 of the NAB Cup, launching the 2012 season. And in just a moment, we're also going to catch up with Gerard Healy and his colleagues from On the Couch. That's Mike Sheen and Paul Roos as they gear up for their 11th season.
Brilliant gather by the champ. Goes with the left foot. How does he manage this? It's supernatural.
I can't wait to lock horns with Mike Sheen and the boys on the couch on Fox Footy. Gee, that felt good, Billy.
Monday, 7:30, The Odd Couple return for the biggest season ever.
Live, 4 nights a week. Love the emotion coming out in you.
This is the media covering the media.
From the teams to the tribunal and everything in between.
The private lives of AFL players have been scrutinised like never before.
The news behind the news.
Hey, what happens in footy?
You'll hear it here first.
Football from every angle, AFL 360 returns Monday 7:30 only on
Gee, there's been a lot of big stories in my time. Each year I think this is the biggest one I've seen, but I still think the story of Ron Barassi defecting from Melbourne to Carlton after the 64 premiership team was probably the biggest for impact. I was younger then, I was more impressionable, and I did have some affection for the Melbourne Football Club at the time. Probably of my professional career, I think the biggest story has to be the Wayne Carey scandal at North Melbourne. I mean, that came out of the blue. That was a genuine scoop. And because of the nature of what that news was, involving a woman and a teammate, I mean, it just involved everyone. It wasn't just a football story in the purest sense. It was just a massive story in a news sense.
For the well-being of all concerned, I've taken the decision to cease my playing career with the Kangaroos.
It was just a story beyond comprehension. You know, I remember when I first heard it and sort of thought, it just sounds implausible. And then more and more information comes to light, and suddenly there's a media conference called, and suddenly confirmation, and then everyone goes into action, and that's what we're sort of born to do. There's a big news story, everyone just goes at it as hard as they can, and then you sit back when the paper comes out and you sort of say, has this really happened? It was that sort of story.
They were huge stories indeed, weren't they? Mike Sheehan, one of the absolute best. What a contribution he has made to the game over the years. It's fair to say that anything you want to know about the game, whether it be on-field or off-field, Gerard, Mike and Ruse, you've got it covered on the couch.
Thanks, Jason. Yes, the couch heading into its 11th year and, well, hopefully the set will be ready to go come Monday night. Of course, on the couch we focus mainly on what happens on the ground, but it's the off-field issues that really do stop the footy world. The politics, the relationships, the drama. And to talk about the biggest events of their time, David Park and Paul Ruse and Mike Sheehan back for an 11th year. Welcome, fellas.
Hello, Gerard. Welcome, Rusey. David.
Thank you, Michael.
David.
Paul, good to see you. It's amazing, Mike, the off-field stuff. It seems to almost have more impact than many of the on-field issues.
Look, it does, and sometimes I'm saddened by that because I think we're all involved in this game because of what we see inside the fence. But the focus on the off-field stuff is massive. There's so many media outlets these days that it's sort of taken on a life of its own. But I still think when it's all paired away, Gerard, it's what happens on the ground.
Let's take a look at some of the biggest off-field stories over the last few decades.
Sometimes the off-field controversies surrounding Aussie rules can put on-field performances in the shade. Heroes can be quickly forgotten. In the summer of 1980, Carlton parted ways with its favourite son, Alex Jezelenko, just months after he had taken them to a famous victory over Collingwood. Jezza had joined forces with President George Harris, a move that would prove fatal for both. Politically, the biggest story of all was the decision to expand the parochial VFL and set about building a national competition. It started with a much criticised but vital shift of South Melbourne to Sydney. Saw Fitzroy disappear, and a merger of sorts with Brisbane, and the introduction of two teams from South and Western Australia. The AFL has never looked back. Amidst the change and anguish, there were stories that gladdened the hearts of every fan. In 1991, an Irishman named Jimmy Steins won the Brownlow, and his courage continues to amaze us.
Mike, you've been involved in a number of the big stories. What's your biggest?
Well, Gerard, probably the summer of 1982. I was working for the Afternoon Herald newspaper, and I'd been a month getting this story from the original suggestion, which I thought was just totally incongruous, to actually getting it in print. And it was a story about two blokes for sale.
Right, boys, Smoko. Whew. Let's go, lads.
Clearly a skilled labour shortage, Mike. Getting back to your story,
yeah.
Was it the first time, and I think I remember the one, was there $1 million headline?
The poster said Moore and Templeton, abbreviated, Templeton, for sale for $1 million. So it was equivalent at the time of this day to saying that Buddy Franklin and, say, Travis Cloke were going to be packaged up and sold to a low club. The two players were Calvin Templeton and Peter Moore, both captains of their respective clubs, Footscray and Collingwood, and both Brownlow medalists in the previous 2 years.
You thought it was a big story for everybody else. You should have seen it at Melbourne. I was a player there.
Yeah, you were.
We had Barassi come along, and I can remember immediately thinking I'll win a premiership. Didn't happen, but when Peter Moore and Calvin Templeton turned up, well, it was no holds barred.
Well, no one thought this... Look, I didn't even think, as the author, didn't even think that it could possibly happen. The two clubs denied it. Everyone was sort of saying it's just impossible. And in the space of 2 months, the deal was done, executed, and Moore and Templeton end up at Melbourne.
Rusey, what about you?
Well, I touched on the vision before, and David, you were part of it. I mean, we all know about the demise of Fitzroy, but within that story, the biggest story for mine was in '86 when we had a meeting with about 4 or 5 rounds to go on the tennis courts at Wesley College.
Yeah.
And Leon Weigard came to us and said we could the 3 options: fold, merge, or relocate to Brisbane. We then took a vote, and every player bar, and you might mention the player that didn't, but every player bar one
I think
voted.
his name was Doug Barwick. I think he might have signed a contract to go to Collingwood by then.
But
Parko.
So in the future, or in the history of Fitzroy, I just would have loved to see them go. I mean, I was Fitzroy through and through at the time, and always wanted to end my career at Fitzroy, but I think the names McDermott, the Jarmans, they were on the way or been recruited by Brisbane. Obviously never went, but possibly would have gone. Would Fitzroy have won a premiership as the Brisbane Lions in the late 80s?
We've heard about Ron Barassi's defection, Parko, but for you there was perhaps an even bigger one associated with Melbourne.
Yeah, look, people did talk about it, and it was one of the biggest stories, but for me, from a coaching point of view, and I was a Melbourne supporter, for Norm Smith, must have won, I reckon, Mike, 6 in 10 or 12, 6 in 10 years a coach over that stretch. For him to be sacked in the manner which he was, and it was a very nasty event publicly, I thought was sad for the game, very sad for the football club, and extremely sad for the man.
Did it impact on footy as much as it has over the last 2 decades? Because quite simply, there wasn't the same media outlets as there is today.
No, that's true, but it had a massive impact.
It did.
I've got no doubt. Across, the purists in football just couldn't come to grips or understand that. Bit like Ronald Dale going to Carlton. No one could come to grips that football could allow something like that to happen.
But for those of us that weren't there, how did it happen? I mean, how does that happen?
Parker, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding was Smith was a maverick. He was an outstanding coach, 6 flags in 10 years, very strong-willed. And at that time, Melbourne Football Club was a section of the Melbourne Cricket Club. So the Melbourne Cricket Club lorded it over the football club, and I don't think they liked the Smith attitude. I think they thought he was bigger than the football club.
So they didn't like winning.
Yeah, and this was mid-season after the 6th flag in 10 years.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Jared, just your own reflections and memories of...
Very quickly, Mike. For me, the biggest moment was, and it had a slow burn, but Jimmy Steins. I was introduced to Jimmy Steins in 1984. I was over in Ireland for the international rules, and Barrass dragged Robert Flower and myself into a room and said, "Here's the future of the Melbourne Footy Club." I laughed on the way out with Robert Flower, and Jimmy Steins is now one of the greatest tales of sport of any sort in this country.
Before you leave that, I mean, I watched Melbourne when Steins had just started with Sean White. I must say, I didn't think Steins would ever make an AFL footballer. What was your own view, having trained with this bloke and played with him?
Oh, pretty much the same, but you could see the absolute steely determination with Jim Steins, and he went back to Paran, learned his craft, but you could always be of the absolute confidence that he was going to leave no stone unturned, and that's what we saw Jim Steins. But all of these stories get exposed incredibly these days on shows like On the Couch, which has been going now for into its 11th year, Mike. It was spawned from a show, Talking Footy, which you were a part of originally in 1995.
Channel 7 program. It was the creation of Gary Fenton. I think Gary Fenton and 7 people were looking for something to sort of put, not up against the footy show, but to have a presence of their own in that context. They weren't going to have a variety show like the footy show. Fenton's idea was to have 3 blokes sitting around taking a serious look at football late in the night, as if you were in the living room with them. There was Bruce McAvaney was the host, Malcolm Blight was the specialist, and I was the journo. And that was back in 1995.
And it's retained its interest, hasn't it? For the very reason that Gary thought that serious footy with knowledgeable people having a yarn about it is what a great group in our society want to hear.
He thought there was a market for it. I'm not sure that the rest of the world thought that, but he thought there was, and he had faith in it, even though it was a late night program. But then it just sort of gradually made its way and became what it is.
To the tune of Monday's Experts. Parko, you're an expert on the show once in 1999, and thanks to Channel 7, we can relive that moment when you and Mike butted heads over whether or not players' salaries should be made public.
What about all you journos? What about, were you prepared to put up what you earn in the paper?
Well, who cares what I earn?
It's not a broadsheet. I'm just as interested in what you earn as what another player from another club does.
They are entertainers. Hang on,
but you're living off the game too, like I'm living off the game. Why shouldn't your salary go up? Really? I mean, what's the difference between you and I? We're both part of this game. We're both salary employees.
Yeah.
It should put up what Sheehan gets.
People aren't interested in Sheehan like they are in Kudafidis or
yes,
Parker.
they are, Michael. No, you're wrong there. I'm very interested in what you earn.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Not much.
No,
You'd coach until about April the 15th on what I earn.
Fantastic work from you, Parker. I think you might have won it.
Parker.
I did not.
I'm disappointed in you, though, Mike. I mean, where's the pink shirt? You have destroyed your image in one foul swoop.
Well, because I was so poorly paid, they gave me some more money and I was able to buy a couple, Jared.
What do you think right now, Parker, by the way?
About that? Whether they should or shouldn't, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows what everybody's earning in the community. Doesn't know what job you're doing, what institution you represent. Everybody knows. Probably a good thing. You're a coach and a mentor to Ross Lyon. He's our special guest coming up on Monday night, the coach of the Fremantle Dockers. It was an amazing night in football when we found out he wasn't going to be coach of St Kilda, and 2 hours later the rumour came through that he was going to be coach of the Dockers. How did you see it? That's another one I couldn't believe at all, and how St Kilda allowed him to escape in the circumstances beyond me. Ross can coach, and that'll be to the gain of him as a bloke and of the Fremantle Football Club.
Great first guest.
It is a great first guest. Ruzi, make sure you get rid of the ladder. Parko, have another great year in footy. How many is it for you now?
I don't know, whatever it is, 60. No, I don't know what it is. I started as a 7-year-old, my first grand final, and I've seen every one since. So how privileged I've been, and I'm hanging around still. Love it, yeah. Well, it's been fantastic to have you on, and we're looking forward to your company on Channel 504. Yes, the new Fox Footy. It'll be On the Couch with Ross Lyon Monday. Back to you, Jason.
Thanks, Jared. Yes, On the Couch is back on Monday. Do not miss it. The Tigers and the Kangaroos are out on the ground here at Etihad. They're getting warmed up for the season opener, round 1 of the NAB Cup. It's all coming your way right here on Fox Footy as the big stars continue to talk about the great game that is AFL.
I can't wait for Fox Footy to watch the mighty Saints.
He's up, Warnie. What about the Lions, especially against the Saints this year?
Tell your story walking, pal. Muppet.
Many people are involved in football, but few shape it. David Parkin, the innovator, changed the vernacular of football, but also the way he brought professionalism to the game. He's been involved in 5 winning teams.
To the people who have waited 72 years.
Paul Roos, one of the most charismatic men ever to be involved in AFL football. People power came to the fore in Sydney, and didn't he repay them?
Here it is!
Live, 8:30 Monday.
It was the one the footy world didn't see coming. New Fremantle coach Ross Lyon takes a seat on the couch to talk about that decision and his new life out west.
On the Couch, live 8:30 Monday on Fox Footy. The 2012 NAB Cup is proudly brought to you by mobile betting from sportsbet.com.au, the greatest invention since betting. Harvey Norman. Shop in store or online at harveynorman.com.au. The pioneering beering of Hahn. NAB. More give, less take. Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning. Hungry Jacks makes footy better. And the award-winning Jeep Grand Cherokee. Don't hold back.
I remember it as if it was yesterday. For the major games, we had 3 cameras, and we were rather innovative because we decided to do a second match each weekend, and we covered that on 1 camera. Today, you've got up to 50 cameras. It's a miracle. The technological revolution is just astounding, and I envy the boys today and the marvellous backup they have. Melbourne was thoroughly enthralled by the advent of television. These were the early days. There were no satellites, there were no microwave links, there were no computers to generate these computerised graphics. Slow motion was a farce, but people were greatly attracted to it, drawn to it, which was the same all over the world. It was an extraordinary fact that when my sports show for 3 hours, 48 weeks a year, came into being on Channel 9 versus Ron Casey's established World of Sport, 50% of all the sets in Melbourne were tuned into one or other of those programs. That gives you some measure of it in those times. If you take the last 20 years and the progress in that time as any example, anything could happen. I mean, the technological advances are just mind-boggling, certainly to somebody who came up in the pioneering days of the industry. Just extraordinary.
Now, the great Tony Charlton, not just one of the finest football commentators we've seen over the years, one of the best all-round television performers going, and he's facing a bit of a battle at the moment, Tony, so we wish you all the best in that fight. It's fair to say that Tony has probably contributed as much as anyone to the overall evolution of television coverage of our game over the years.
At a time when billion-dollar TV rights deals have been done and dusted, it is worth remembering that when television arrived in Melbourne back in 1956, league bosses were convinced that this newfangled medium had no place in their thinking. This is TV coverage circa 1957. A lot of wide angles, shot from the back of the grandstand and transmitted in flickering black and white to just a few thousand 19-inch sets dotted around the suburbs. The VFL was flabbergasted when Seven went live with the Brownlow at the start of the 70s and watched in amazement as it became the night of nights over the next 40 years. The biggest changes to football and television occurred in a 3-year period from 1975. Colour TV arrived and North Melbourne and Collingwood matches came to life. In 1977 came the defining moment. The VFL agreed to allow the live telecast of the grand final. The result was twofold. The league made money and no one stayed at home. Now we have close-up shots that portray that triumph, super slow-mo vision that takes you into the very heart of the game, replays from so many angles that capture the splendour, and microphones that pick up every bone-jarring crunch. From those live last quarters of 1957, every game, every week, is broadcast live, uninterrupted, and delivered in breathtaking high definition. It doesn't get any better.
The CEO of the AFL, Andrew Demetriou, continues to do a brilliant job with his voiceovers, but haven't we advanced so far in terms of the coverage of the game? Guys, it's really quite spectacular, the way we focus on everything. Every angle...
Hang on, Chief. I'm back, mate. 3.5K. 3.5K down to Coventry Street. I'm back a little bit sweaty, but I tell you what, the job down at the Fox Sports Studios, the finishing touches I've been putting on it is just absolutely outstanding.
What were you doing, Spud, up on the ladder? Changing a light bulb?
No, I'm the guy that oversees, the architect of the whole setup, the whole shooting match, Chief. 3.5K, South Melbourne here and back. Couple of little beads of sweat. The jumper's a little bit tight, too much Christmas pudding, but did you like me work?
Can I ask you a serious question?
Dressed like this?
No, a legitimate question.
Okay.
Have you seen a doctor recently?
My wife and 3 daughters obviously say that, and they're probably just...
Spud, I think you've got some issues.
Have you had a heavy fall recently?
Well, I had a few Dermot many moons ago, 88, our very own Fox Sports Dermot Brereton. Maybe a little bit of delayed concussion from 1988, Jono.
It's okay. It's okay.
But this is my...
No, stop.
Oh,
As Spud tries to take us back in time, we're actually moving forward with the development of the game. There are some rule changes. There is new technology being introduced. We can now review scores that we're unsure of, and that's something that's going to be very exciting. That kicks off tonight. There could be an issue with a shot for goal, and if we're not quite sure, this is how we're going to deal with it.
What'd you see?
The ball went goal side. I don't know if it flicked the post on the way past. I wasn't right under it.
Okay. There is doubt as to whether the ball has hit the goal post. Can you please review? Righto, what do you got, Waz? Alpha, stand by Alpha. What did you see?
Ball went goal side, definitely, but I didn't know.
Alpha roll. Not sure whether it's hit the post. Have you seen anything?
I never saw the ball hit the post on its flight through.
Okay, let's just wait for the review upstairs. Ball didn't hit the post, pay the goal. Okay, the ball has not hit the post, all clear for a goal.
Holy. Seriously.
It's exciting stuff that's taking the game forward, but as fast as we go forward, this bloke's putting it back in time. What are you doing?
Where's your lenses?
These are the lens.
Where's the lens?
I'm not sure where they are, but the little birdie there. Now, can I see you, Lynchy? Is it working?
I don't know.
No, not
Is
yet.
it working? No, not yet.
It's not working. Okay.
This is third eye technology that will give us a bird's eye view of the game. The goal umpires are going to wear
I reckon
this.
it's going now.
I hope they look better than you do wearing them.
I reckon it's going beautifully.
It's fair to say Spud's had hold of it for the last couple of minutes, and look what's happened.
Okay, hang on. This is how it should look, Spud. This is the view from
Okay.
the goal umpire's
Yep. I get it
third
now.
eye technology. So we're going to get, as I said, a bird's eye view of the ball coming in. You're going to see him moving into position, and hopefully it'll look a lot more sensible than it does on you.
Well, that is a great initiative, especially if you're looking over the top of the goal post, so you see the umpires, but I'm not sure whether these ones are working. But anyway, I might have flicked the wrong switch.
We saw Tony Charlton talking about the coverage of the game and how far it's developed. Andrew Demetrio talking over a fantastic package there. We've all enjoyed wonderful moments in terms of the TV coverage of the game, haven't we?
Oh, absolutely. It's been absolutely amazing, some of the highlights over the years.
Yep.
Our coverage now is fantastic, but some of the highlights over the years has been incredible. You know what it's like to host a piece to camera for a big game of AFL football. Well, Malcolm Blight did the same thing a number of years ago. 1996, Blighty hosted his first game of AFL football out at Waverley. Some of the big guns, McAvaney, Sandy Roberts, were out of the way. They were overseas for the Olympics, and he had to stand there as the lights went out. Let's have a look at this, if we've got the vision there.
Imagine the lights going out on you.
By that bare margin, 20 points, but in the context, hello, we might really have a...
And believe it or not, we now have Russell Morris down in the boundary or underneath the grandstand.
Can you imagine that? The lights in the studio, have all gone out.
Yep.
Now somehow, I don't know how he's done it, Blighty's found a lighter. So I don't know whether he's partial to the odd dart.
He didn't mind a gas back there, Blighty.
Can I take two? Apparently they're working now.
So what does that mean?
Well, I'll get a close-up of your
I
Fox.
don't think much of you is working,
Well,
Spud.
They don't look like you're working at all.
No, they're not working.
But how would that
Very
be? Blighty happened to host, the lights have gone out, and ironically, 1996, they had to come back 3 days later on the Tuesday. Do you play or you retired by then?
No, I'd retired.
So 1996 come back 3 days later. The Bombers made 5 changes.
did.
We were allowed to make 5 changes and ended up winning the game by 22 points.
The score stayed as is.
Yep.
And I think St Kilda was filthy that they didn't make a change. And then
Well, it's their fault.
Kevin Sheedy, the old master, the old Sly Fox, slipped 5 changes in.
Well, we had Buddy in earlier, Jason. Imagine getting Buddy walking out of his house and then getting in the car with him and coming to the game with him. That's something in 1970. Ted Whitten on the way to his last game. That was the best TV moment for me. I know I'm a massive Dogs fan. Everyone knows that.
Really?
But let me say, seeing that at the time, he was interviewed by David Johnson from the Seven Network, and just outstanding television. A great TV moment, seeing the great of the game, a legend of the game, do that in his last game.
How does it feel to be walking down this lane, approaching the ground for your last game?
Feels bloody awful, David.
Does it?
I don't feel very happy about it at all.
I said to you at half-time that providing we control the rucks in the air like we were doing, we've got a real chance. In that quarter, you let their rucks get on top of us a little bit, particularly from the centre bounce and around the ground, which we can't afford to do. You had them in your hand and you've let them out. Now we've got to get them back in there and close it up. They played attacking football. We went negative in that quarter, and you can't afford to. I want attacking, purposeful football all the time. And providing you had kept it up in that quarter, we had a real chance of winning it in that quarter. Now we've got our backs against the wall and we're going to fight, and we're going to fight hard. It's going to be a do-or-die effort. It's going to be a determined bit. You've got to show me all the guts and all the determination you've got in your body. You've got to inspire me.
That's an amazing speech, but can I have another look at that? Your father or grandfather, I'm tipping those in the shot. Let's have another look at the tape, the slow-mo. There's Brad Johnson's. But it's got to be a father. That's 1970.
Jono huddled up there.
Have a look at him.
John, what is going on?
Obviously, that's me. And that's just part of where TV is going, and we'll see a lot more of that as the year unfolds.
That is